Well, since you brought up the intro, can we talk about the first song after the intro? Don't Come Back?
Yeah.
Love it.
Thank you.
Let's tell everybody about it.
So this is an interpolation of Nelly's song "Ride with Me," which is so sad.
Is that like a favorite song of yours? Where does that come from? How did that song become your song?
Well, I hadn't even listened to that song in forever, and I just remember this guy and Charlie Hanson, this producer. We were writing a whole bunch of songs, just throwing out a whole bunch of ideas. He was playing guitar, and we sometimes when you're just in a room and you're bored, you just sing old songs and over top of it. And we started singing "Ride with Me" over this out of this guitar loop, and I was like, this would be so crazy if we flipped this.
How many writers are on it? 30?
Well, it was we wrote the song, just the two of us,
right?
And then we obviously had to credit everyone in the world.
Okay, so what was the process like putting this album together?
The process was very chaotic. I worked with a lot of different people, and honestly, at the end of the day, all the songs that I ended up choosing were literally just either written by myself or written with one other person. And I think it was really crazy because I was going through a lot mentally, and I felt like I was going through a lot of changes, and I had no idea how to write about them until I would find the perfect song to write about them. So I'd write 70 songs, and by the end, obviously we only had 13 or 12. So it was a very chaotic process and very therapeutic.
Talking about writing with specific people, I love the song Hate Myself. Whoa.
Thank you.
So you wrote that with Alexander 23.
Yeah.
And Charlie Puth, right?
Yeah. So I wrote this, basically we started this idea in a room. Charlie put down this guitar, and we didn't write any lyrics this day because I was in a horrible mood.
So making a song with Charlie, is it like it is on his TikTok? It's okay, now we're going to put down a drum track. Here's a drum track.
Oh, he's a psychopath. Literally. This man cannot go 2 seconds without either telling you what key you're speaking in or playing on a piano. I don't know. He's crazy. So he starts playing down these guitar or whatever chords. We couldn't write anything the first day, so we just left it. The next day, I just went through a breakup. I literally this day I go through a breakup, and Blake calls me. He goes, "You're coming over right now." And I was like, no, I'm a disaster. I cannot write a song right now. And he was like, "You're doing it." So I walked over to his house, and it was 11 p.m. at night, and I was sobbing and writing this song, talking about this breakup. And it was just the two of us in the room, and we wrote all of the lyrics and wrote everything, and then obviously finished it. You can kind of hear my voice cracking on the record, which is kind of cool.
I feel like you're crying in it. It all makes sense.
There's in the bridge, which I feel is the most heart-wrenching part, just brutal. I was literally at the booth crying because it had just happened hours before.
How long were you in this relationship for?
A year and a half. It was hard. I think it was just a lot going on at once, and I had no idea how to talk about it. And that song was very, very real.
Well,
Yeah.
I hate that person now.
Don't hate him.
But in the chorus, you say, "Oh, I didn't think this over. Fell back when you got closer. After I just put you right through hell. You couldn't hate me more than I hate myself." Is that how you felt? Did you feel very you were being selfish in the relationship?
No, I feel what I've realized is what I do is if someone were to leave my life or someone were to walk out or something, I would literally just look back and blame at me for everything. I think that's my fault in a relationship is I'll take all the blame, and I'll be I'm sorry, I'm whatever, and I'll always put it back on me. And I do this thing where if I really, really care about people, I'll push them away a bit. And I think that's what I was meaning in the song is I'm trying to not hurt myself, so I push people away and try to make it a lot easier. But it ends up obviously making people that you love not close to you.
And it ends up hurting you worse because you are blocking your feelings.
Right, and I think that's what I tend to do a lot is shut off and just keep my head forward and not focus on the things that hurt. And when you feel you're pushing people away and you're doing it, but it's you can't help it, and that they're gonna go off and be super happy with someone else, that's the most painful thing in the world when you still love someone.
Has he reached out to you today to say congratulations?
He has, actually.
Wow.
Yeah, it was really nice.
How'd that make you feel?
I mean, it's a lot. I think relationships, they're just a whole thing that messes with your head, and I think when there's so much going on, it's I don't even know how to process half of it.
Let's talk about a happy moment.
Yeah, yes. Okay.
What was the happiest thing that happened on this album? The happiest moment.
Me and Simon are getting super deep.
Yeah, because I know she's about to start crying.
I'm crying already.
Yeah.
My
You're-
hormones.
You're wearing the sunglasses, so you'll be able to hide it, but she'll be a wreck in about 5 minutes.
Right. The happiest moment. Well, there were a lot of really, really cool moments writing this record. I think there was this one song called "What Would You Do," and
We love it.
thank you.
We
So good.
love it. And that's also a Charlie.
It was a Charlie. So this was so fun because me and Alex were hanging out. He was like, "Hey, can we go hang out with Charlie?" And I was like, "Sure." We go over to Charlie's studio. Obviously, like, Charlie literally can't shut up on the piano and the guitar and everything. He's like playing every instrument in the room. So we all start like singing. We start writing this song. It ends up going like super late. We call our friend Blake over and we're like, "You need to produce this song. Like, this is gonna be sick." And it was so crazy because I just like Charlie's like brain works like a mile a minute, and we were just having like the best time ever. And I remember we were writing this bridge, and it was so fun because we were all sitting on this one couch just like throwing out all these ideas of like what you would do to like to like really hurt someone, to like get them back and, you know, put them in your shoes. And I remember like Charlie was like, "Ah," he like screamed. He was like, "Oh my God, I just got full goosebumps." And we all were like, it was just like one of those moments where like you're like, music is so fun, and creating music with your friends is like the best thing in the world.
Where did you write most of the album?
So I wrote most of the album like all over the place. Different studios. Some in a few of them were started in my apartment. I'd like start all the ideas in my piano and then I'd take them to the studio, but it was everywhere.
Do you come up with melodies first or more like chords?
I kind of freestyle. Like I'll someone will play like a guitar loop or a piano, and I'll like go into the booth like a rapper.
Like Nelly. like that Nelly song.
Like that Nelly song. And I just start freestyling, and if something comes out of my subconscious and you know, I have an idea that I want to talk about, then we'll start fitting the lyrics in.